Did you know one of 1970's biggest hits was written in just 10 minutes? Another featured police sirens that had drivers pulling over when it played on the radio. These aren't just songs, they're stories waiting to be rediscovered. Each of these 10 forgotten gems topped the charts, played on every radio station, and then disappeared. The artists became the very definition of one-hit wonders, but their music left fingerprints all over rock history that we can still find today. Number 1, Mississippi Queen by Mountain. The moment you hear that distinctive cowbell intro, you know exactly what song is playing. But did you know that Mountain's Mississippi Queen almost never had that iconic sound? During the recording session, drummer Corky Lang was struggling to keep time, so producer Felix Pappalardi handed him a cowbell as a metronome. That quick fix became rock history. The song itself has an equally fascinating origin. During a power outage at a small club in Nantucket, Lang improvised lyrics about a Mississippi queen while the band played in the dark. Little did they know this spontaneous creation would become their legacy. Mountain had serious rock credentials. Felix Pappalardi had produced Cream's albums, and guitarist Leslie West was known for his massive sound, hence the band name. Yet despite reaching number 21 on Billboard in 1970, Mississippi Queen remained their only major hit. Number 2, All Right Now by Free. Did you know some of rock's most enduring hits were born from moments of sheer desperation? After a particularly dismal live performance where the audience was visibly bored, Free knew they needed something, anything, to inject life back into their shows. In a dingy dressing room, bassist Andy Fraser and vocalist Paul Rogers put their heads together and emerged with pure gold just 10 minutes later. All Right Now was specifically designed as an antidote to Free's usual serious blues rock material. The band needed something upbeat and energizing, with drummer Simon Kirke later recalling it was Fraser who sparked the idea during that frantic backstage session. The infectious guitar riff and simple, catchy chorus worked exactly as intended, not just saving their live shows, but catapulting them to international fame. The song shot up to number 2 in the UK and number 4 on the US Billboard charts, becoming the defining hit for a band that had already released multiple albums. The track's staying power is remarkable. It eventually received BMI's prestigious Millionaire Award after surpassing 3 million radio plays in America alone. Yet despite creating this rock anthem for the ages, Free couldn't capture lightning twice. The band disbanded in 1973, with Rogers later finding success fronting Bad Company, while Fraser pursued various musical ventures. Number 3, Love Grows, Where Rosemary Goes by Edison Lighthouse. While some bands spend months perfecting their sound, what if I told you one of 1970's biggest hits was captured perfectly in a single take? Edison Lighthouse's infectious Love Grows, Where My Rosemary Goes topped the UK charts and reached number 5 in America, despite being performed by a band that barely existed in the traditional sense. Edison Lighthouse was essentially a music industry creation, a studio project featuring session musicians with Tony Burrows as the face and voice of the group. The cheerful pop melody about a woman spreading happiness wherever she goes resonated with listeners worldwide, showcasing the remarkable efficiency and talent of everyone involved in that one perfect recording session. Burrows himself became known as the King of One-Hit Wonders for a truly unique achievement in 1970, appearing on the influential TV show Top of the Pops multiple times with completely different bands. Beyond Edison Lighthouse, he fronted White Plains and the Pipkins, each time showing up on British television with a different group and different hit song. The irony of Love Grows is that despite its lyrics about lasting affection, Edison Lighthouse quickly faded from the music scene once the song's popularity waned. Burrows simply moved on to his next musical project, leaving behind a perfect pop artifact that captured a moment in time when manufactured bands could produce genuine musical magic. Number 4, Ooh Child by the 5 Stair Steps. While studio-manufactured groups came and went, true family bonds created some of 1970's most enduring music. The 5 Stair Steps, siblings Clarence Jr., James, Aloha, Kenneth, and Dennis Burke, got their unique name from their mother, who noticed they resembled stairs when lined up by age. Before breaking through, this Chicago family band spent years playing local venues and releasing singles that barely made a ripple on the charts. Their fortunes changed dramatically with OOH Child, a Stan Vincent penned anthem with a simple yet powerful message. Things are gonna get easier. In 1970, as America wrestled with profound social division and political turmoil, these 8 words offered genuine comfort to a nation in need of healing. The track soared to number 8 on Billboard's Hot 100, finally giving the group the crossover success they'd been chasing. What makes OOH Child remarkable isn't just its initial impact, but its cultural staying power. The song has been featured prominently in films like Boys and the Hood, and even found new audiences through Guardians of the Galaxy. Its hopeful message continues being sampled and covered by artists across generations, cementing its legacy despite the fact the family band never managed to produce another hit of similar magnitude. Number 5. In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry. Some songs capture joy in its purest form, and what could be more joyful than a carefree summer day? While many artists labor for months on their masterpieces, Ray Dorset created one of history's most successful summer anthems during a quick coffee break at his day job. Working at a Timex laboratory in 1970, Dorset stepped away for just 10 minutes and returned with In the Summertime, fully formed in his head. What made this song stand out wasn't just its breezy vibe, but its completely unconventional sound. Unlike most pop hits, there are no traditional drums anywhere on the track. Instead, Dorset drew inspiration from blues legend John Lee Hooker, creating rhythm simply by tapping his foot during recording. The addition of actual car sounds, that distinctive vrooming you hear throughout, further cemented the song's freewheeling summer spirit. Number 6. Tighter and Tighter by Alive and Kicking. Not every hit comes from the artist who made it famous. Behind Alive and Kicking's only chart success was actually Tommy James, the hitmaker behind smash singles like Crimson and Clover and Money Money. In a fascinating twist of musical fate, James originally wrote Tighter, Tighter for himself, but couldn't quite nail the performance he wanted. Rather than shelving the track, he recognized its potential in someone else's hands. The Brooklyn-based band, with dual lead vocalists Pepe Cardona and Sandy Toter at the helm, brought exactly what the song needed. A fresh energy and distinctive vocal approach that transformed it into something special. Their performance injected the perfect dose of enthusiasm into the love-themed lyrics, creating a track that practically radiates happiness through the speakers. Number 7. Indiana Wants Me by R. Dean Taylor. The music scene of 1970 wasn't just claiming careers. One song was literally stopping traffic. When R. Dean Taylor's dramatic fugitive ballad, Indiana Wants Me, hit the airwaves, it created a genuine public safety concern. The realistic police sirens and bullhorn commands in the recording were so convincing that confused drivers across America were actually pulling over to the roadside, thinking they were being pursued by law enforcement. Radio stations quickly began airing a special, siren-free version to prevent highway chaos. Inspired by the outlaw romance of Bonnie and Clyde, Taylor crafted a compelling narrative about a man on the run after defending his lover's honor. What made his success even more remarkable was his unique position at Motown Records. As a white Canadian artist on Berry Gordy's predominantly black label, Taylor broke cultural barriers rarely crossed in that era's music industry. Number 8. Reflections of My Life by Marmalade. While American musicians were making waves with wailing police sirens, across the Atlantic, a Scottish band was pioneering an entirely different kind of sonic innovation. The year 1970 saw Glasgow-based group Marmalade release a song whose haunting beauty came from an unexpected source: a guitar solo played completely backwards. This technical wizardry helped create one of the most emotionally powerful tracks of the decade. Reflections of My Life was the creative brainchild of lead guitarist Junior Campbell and vocalist Dean Ford, who captured the introspective mood of a generation facing societal upheaval. The song's distinctive reversed guitar solo wasn't just a gimmick. It was a groundbreaking production technique that gave the track its ethereal, dreamlike quality that perfectly matched its contemplative lyrics. Number 9. I'm Your Vehicle by Ides of March. One-hit wonders often have fascinating backstories, but few came as close to never existing as the Ides of March's Vehicle. What began as a frustrated love song written by Jim Potterick about a girl who was clearly using him for car rides almost disappeared into obscurity before anyone heard a single note. The Chicago band, which formed in 1964 as the Shondells before adopting their classical-inspired name 2 years later, was enjoying a promising studio session when disaster struck. During production, someone accidentally erased part of the master tape of Vehicle, a catastrophic error that should have spelled doom for the recording. Instead of starting over, the quick-thinking team salvaged the song by splicing in a section from an earlier take. Number 10. Ride, Captain Ride by Blue Image. Sometimes the muse for a hit song isn't heartbreak or political revolution, but something as mundane as counting piano keys. When Blues Image's guitarist Mike Panera gazed down at his Rhodes electric piano in 1970, he noticed something peculiar. It had exactly 73 keys. That random observation sparked what would become the opening line to one of the year's most enigmatic hits. 73 men sailed up from San Francisco Bay. The mysterious maritime journey described in Ride, Captain Ride captivated listeners with its invitation to sail away to another land in search of freedom. While many fans speculated about hidden meanings behind the nautical narrative, the truth was far simpler. The song's foundation was built on whatever number of keys happened to be on Panera's instrument.